How many of you are almost consistently profitable traders, but you don't even realize it? You're like the guy who is digging for gold and he's just about to hit it with his pick, and then he throws his pick down and he gives up. Well, you might be surprised to hear that it's actually quite a high portion of traders out there. Now, the reason why you are not becoming consistently profitable is because you don't really know where it is that you're going wrong. You're working through the trading months, you're doing the same thing each month, you're getting to the end of the month, you're not consistent, you're breaking even, maybe you're losing a little bit of money. You get a little bit frustrated and then you start the next month and you run through the same process and you get to the end of the month and you're in the exact same position. Now, it tends to be because there's so much to look at when you're trading, and unfortunately, for most people, they don't focus in on what is holding them back. So in this video, I'm going to go through a few of the more common things that I see and the things that I have been able to point out to people, including myself, which then helped me to advance as a trader and start to become consistently profitable. Now, I want to start by asking a really simple question. If I said to you, what did you have for your lunch 13 days ago? Now, almost certainly you have absolutely no idea. I would struggle to tell you what I had for lunch yesterday. But if I ask you to start going back 7 days, 10 days, 13 days, you're going to have absolutely no idea, unless it was some sort of special occasion. But when you're trading, you get to the end of the month, you look at your results and you say, okay, I've had a break-even month. And if I say to you, okay, but what about the trade you took 2 weeks ago? What about the trade you took 15 days ago? What did you do in that trade? What could you have improved in that trade? You're going to have absolutely no idea. And what you're going to do instead is you're just going to restart the month and you're going to start working through it, not really learning anything at all. Just hoping that eventually something's going to click and you're going to become consistently profitable. One of the ways you can separate yourself from the 80–90% of people who consistently fail to make money trading is you can start to look for ways to improve. Now, that comes down to your trading diary. But more specifically, it comes down to starting to look for the areas that are holding you back. So what I'm going to do is run through some of the more common ones, giving you examples. Now, what I'm going to do is start with myself. When I first started to really work towards something that was going to grow into consistent profitability, I basically built a trading plan from the ground up. It's what I now call Zone Trader. It gave me an edge in the markets, but when I had that trading plan, I was coming to the markets, coming to the charts, and I had this voice in my head from when I was initially learning. Everybody out there told me that, the videos, the articles, the forums, they all said, if you're not aiming for 1 to 3 risk to reward, you are wasting your time as a trader. So I had this trading plan and I tried to fit it around 1 to 3 risk to reward. It didn't work. I kept losing money over and over and over again. It was so frustrating. It drove me crazy. And I just kept doing that for a while because I'd read all these articles, all these people had told me that that's what I had to do. But then I changed something. I started recording my trades in a way that was telling me what I should be doing on each trade. So I'd record my trade in a normal trading diary, but I'd also record things like potential profit on the trade before it then came back to my stop level. I'd record things like when I could get my stop to break even and still hit a good portion of that profit. And what I found was that for the vast majority of my trades, they would hit 0.7 to 1 to 1 to 1 risk to reward. And if I did that, my hit rate would be at least 70%. Sometimes it would creep up to 75. On really good runs, I'd get to 80%. So what did that mean? It meant that trying to fit myself into the 1 to 3 risk to reward was holding me back. I had to change. I had to start looking for smaller profit targets. And when I did that, what happened? I started to become consistently profitable. Now that's actually touching on something else that's really important, and that I try and stress to not only my students, but everyone who watches these videos. There is no proper way to trade, as long as you're not risking crazy amounts of your account. If you are finding something that's making money consistently, do it. It doesn't matter what everybody else is telling you. It held me back for so long, thinking that other people knew what I should be doing, when I could see right in front of me that it wasn't working. It doesn't matter if they tell you, you have to have this risk reward. It doesn't matter if they tell you, you have to trade this time frame. I hear that all the time. You can't trade the 5-minute time frame. And I'm like, well, I've been doing it for years and years full time, and it seems to be working okay. And they're like, no, but you can't do that. Everything I've read says you can't do that. And it's like, okay, you go with what you read, I'll go with what works. And if you want to be consistently profitable, go with what works for you. And you might find you need a high risk reward. As you start recording your trades, you might find that, okay, I'm not profitable, but looking at my results, if I started to just look for 1 to 2 risk to reward, I would flip to a profitable trader. Sure, I'd have more losses, but it would get me into profitability. And what I also found with 1 to 3 risk to reward is that it didn't suit me. I couldn't have runs of 7, 8, 9, 10 losses in a row and then get a couple of big wins. It didn't suit me. It caused me to start making mistakes. It caused me to start having fear when I came to the charts. Nobody talks about that. It has to suit your personality. Now, when you get a trading plan, what you have to also remember is it doesn't matter how much you pay for this trading plan. You can't just pay a couple of £100, even a couple of £1,000, and then expect it to fix everything for you. A trading plan is like, think about buying a house. You can buy your dream house, and it's almost perfect, but when you move into that house, you're going to change things. You're maybe going to paint some of the rooms. You're maybe even going to want to rip out a bathroom and change the bathroom. Maybe you're going to want to put a skylight in the roof. All of those little changes are the same idea when you find the trading plan, because you're tweaking it until it suits you. So what are a couple of the other things that I commonly see that are holding people back? One is getting your stop to break even. I see people getting their stop to break even all the time, but they don't know why they're doing it. They don't know if it works. They just get their stop to break even. Now, I know through experience from the trades that I take, if I get my stop to break even between 0.5 to 1 and 0.7 to 1, that is going to help me the most. Because over the long term, if my trade then reverses back down to break even, from that point, it's more likely that I will suffer a full position loss than it will then come back up to a solid profit target. I learned that through recording what I was doing. Can I get my stop to break even here, here, or here, and which is going to work best? If you're just doing it blindly, you're holding yourself back. All you need to do is for a couple of months, 2-3 months, record the trades where you've got your stop to break even, and then also note down what was the potential profit target for that trade if I hadn't moved my stop to break even. And if over the long term you see you could be more profitable by not bringing your stop to break even, it's telling you you're doing something wrong. You can't allow yourself in the markets to just make random decisions. It has to be backed up by what works. Now, what is something else that I've seen? And what I'm going to do is give you actually a couple of real life examples. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but I've been working with students before, and one of the things I've seen, and this happens quite often, is that the stop they were using did not work for them. Not in terms of the size of the stop, but the way they were trading and then getting their stop to break even, or the way they were trading and then allowing the market to move back against them. And so what they started to do was they started to take partial profits at certain profit levels, so that then if they did come back and hit their loss, hit their stop level, the loss would be a lot smaller. And over time, they started to realize that that was leaving them profitable. It was working for them. Now that doesn't work for me. So how can that be? How can two people be using the same trading plan and it's working differently? We're different people. We're at the charts at different times. We see entries and one of us thinks, this is perfect. And the other one thinks, that's not for me. It's not quite right. I've not got the number of confluences that I want. Sometimes you'll miss trades. You'll be getting a coffee. You'll be at the toilet. It can't be robotic. It has to fit your personality. And the only way you find that out is by recording what it is that you're doing. Another one. There's a person I know now who only trades double tops and double bottoms as the setup using the trading plan. That's it. That's all they look for. Their profitability is fantastic now. They found out that that's what worked for them. They started to learn what would leave them profitable. Now those people, both of those people, and myself when I was having that risk-reward issue, we were the person with the pick, just about to hit the gold. But it's very easy to be just about to hit the gold and instead just drop the pick, because you don't really know what it is that you should be doing. You don't really know what it is you should be looking at. You have to be willing to record your trades, but also the things that you may be doing wrong. Are you taking profits too early? Are you holding on too long? Are you getting your stop to break even for no good reason and it doesn't work for you? Are you skipping trades through fear that would work perfectly? Record those trades. Highlight them. I skipped this trade because it just didn't seem quite right. I was feeling a little bit nervous. At the end of a couple of months, look at all of those. Would it leave you profitable? Or would you be in drawdown by taking those trades? If it's drawdown, you're doing the right thing. If it would leave you profitable, you're doing the wrong thing. And it's telling you what you need to adjust to start to become profitable. I can assure you, the majority of people out there, they don't do this. They do the half-assed effort. They do as little as they possibly can, and then they start to blame the world when they're not profitable. The broker's a scam. The markets, the way they're trading them doesn't work. They need a new trading plan. Their educator doesn't know what he's talking about, whatever it may be. That's what tends to happen. People start to look for reasons why things aren't working, rather than starting to look at themselves and think, okay, am I doing everything possible to make sure that I'm above this 80% of people who are failing? 80% is a very high portion of people. Every one of those people sits down at the computer and wants to be profitable. Nobody sits down at the computer and thinks, I want to lose money. I want to give all my money to the broker, to the market makers. It's a great thing to do. It's really fun. I can work for an entire week, an entire month, and I can lose money. Nobody wants to do that. Everyone is in the same position as you. But only a very small portion of people are willing to put in the work to make themselves into the 20% that become consistently profitable. That's what you want to do. Don't look for what the mass of people are doing. Find out what works for you. If someone is telling you something, even me, and I'm saying, you have to do it this way, and you say to me, but it's not working for me. I'm looking at my results, and if I change this, suddenly it becomes a lot better. If that's the case, that's what you do. It doesn't matter what you see on YouTube and forums and blog posts, whatever. It's what works. It's what makes you money. There's no definitive way to trade. Every hedge fund doesn't work the same way. Every high-frequency trading algorithm doesn't work the same way. Every day trader doesn't trade the exact same way. Every swing trader doesn't trade the exact same way. That's because there are lots of different ways to take money out of the market. And the only one that matters is the one that works for you. So I strongly encourage you, if you're just starting out this year, if you're still finding that you don't really know where you're going wrong, you might be just about to hit the gold with your pick, but you just don't know it. If you don't know it, you need to draw yourself a map, understand where you're going wrong. Find out if all you need to do is change one or two things, and it's going to suddenly turn you into a consistently profitable trader. So I suggest you start recording more things in your trading diary. Things like, what was my potential profit target? The trades that I'm skipping, does it make sense? Am I getting my stop to break even too early? Would I be a lot more profitable if I didn't do that? Is there a specific pattern that I can just focus on in trading zones that would work for me over the long term? Is there something that's not working for me, a certain trade setup, that is what is dragging me back down every month? And if I just removed that, I would be profitable. Once you find those things, it's going to help you so much, and it's going to give you the best opportunity to become consistently profitable. Okay guys, that's everything for this video. As always, I hope that was helpful. I'm James Orr, and thank you.